Let me know when you guys can hear me. Like I said, we were just messing off testing some stuff, so we decided just to do a stream while we're at it.
Oh, I think Terry's here. He just moved. Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Oh yeah, he's here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Terry just moved again.
Get in the back, sir, Ken. Doesn't matter. You can sit wherever you'd like, buddy.
I'll get in the front. So on the vehicles, I tweeted today that we've done a lot of work on these.
Where are we going to?
And
Out of the way or the other way?
the third person vehicle is still a little bit jittery, but I'll drive the vehicle in a minute and show you. In fact, I'll get out and drive a quad for now and show you guys how much better it is now than before.
Nice. What's going on out there? Yeah, we're a gang now. We're a mobile gang.
So if you guys have played at the current patch, you'll know that it's pretty jittery when you drive like this. But now you can see it's extremely nice and smooth. If you guys want to see anything particular in chat, just let me know. I'm going to go show you an area of the map that I really like. It has an incredible amount of detail. I don't know if very many people have seen it. Up. My driving skills. Yeah, it's much more responsive now when you're driving, and all the jitter's gone. So it should make vehicles a lot better. You don't have to worry about, no, Marco's sleeping right now. He was working on the level a little while ago, and he's in bed. Oh, let me show you guys the flare gun for fun here. Let me stop here. So we made some more adjustments to the flare gun. Let's see here. I'm just going to change it to night. We have all the cheats enabled on ours, so I'll show you guys this for fun. There we go. So this is the new flare gun effect. Anyway. Let me throw this out. Yeah, a lot of the sounds obviously are a work in progress. I'm sure a lot of them can be tuned and updated. For example, the pickup truck, I also think it needs to sound rough when it drives a little bit more since it's older. It's a little bit too smooth for my liking as well. I have no idea where the other guys went. They'll probably find me. Hey guys. Whoa. So one of the things we've been adding are little effects. Let me show you what this one. Not there yet. We had all these little power cables in, and they actually move in the wind. Just trying to find the end of this. I'm not sure where it ends. Oh, there we go. So you can even see they move as well. A lot of little things like that we've just kind of been doing as we go along. Alright. I said I want to go show you this one area of the map down here. I'm really enjoying it. We are running on a dev server, so that's why we have, you know, kind of all of our cheats and everything working. Oh, I don't want to hit him on the quad because he'll flip me over. But if one of the other guys comes around, you can. I don't know where the guys in the truck went, but it's pretty fun running over AI in the game because they ragdoll and flip over the cars and everything. So this area here, this is one of the original areas of the map, but it's gotten a lot of attention to detail lately. One of the things we did in a patch is a lot of these little rocks you see here that I'm driving over, like this whole group here. We removed the collisions on a lot of these little rocks so they don't flip over the ATV as much now, the quad, to kind of help with the stability of the quad. The big ones you can still collide with, but it's just the little ones. Probably gonna kill myself doing this, but oh well. There we go. The quad is actually quite fun to drive. Oh, I'm gonna get myself lost here. Oh, let me go back. As you see, this area has a lot of detail, especially on the ground covering now. Whoa. Let's see. There's a cabin here somewhere. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, the quads are a lot better now as far as for flipping over and everything. They're a lot harder to flip over. They don't flip over when you brake or anything anymore. And you can also, in the next patch, you can actually flip them back over. So if you go up and do enter vehicle on a quad that's flipped, it'll try to flip it back up right for you, which should help a lot. Yeah, this whole area through here just has a lot of attention to detail in it with the ground cover and everything. It's a lot of fun to explore this area. Sorry, squirrel, I ran you over. There's actually some campsites and stuff hidden in here as well. There goes a deer. I'm not sure where the campsites are at, but anyway. They're in here somewhere. So this is the corner of the map by Sultan. Let's see, I think there's a campsite up here. There's two campsites I know of. Yeah, I don't want to hit him. Go away. Here's one of them. If you guys are looking for quads, there's actually a spot here where they can spawn as well at this campsite. The quads are kind of hard to find at times, just because they're so small. But as you can see, this area has got a lot of attention to detail in it. It's quite fun to kind of explore it. Yeah, this vehicle handling will be in the next patch. We've been playing with it for a couple of days now. In fact, if I find another vehicle, I'll swap and show you guys the other ones. I think it's easier in first person. Whoa. Those ones have physics, the big rocks. There we go. Go back up here, and then I'll head back into Sultan. I saw a tow car. We'll try to run over a spiker or two with it. One of the things we added as well that's a little effect that I don't know if people have really noticed yet is when you kill a player with a car, their weapon actually flies out of their hand. So if you run a player over, you have to actually try to find where their weapon went. You'll actually see it fly. There's a tow car here somewhere. There we go. Let me get this one. Yeah, the level designers have been doing a lot of amazing work on the detail of the world. When CryEngine releases their 3.7 version, you know, in the next couple of weeks sometime, we're gonna go through and optimize all of our files for the game. There's a lot of stock SDK files in there still that we don't use, and that'll help a lot with the loading times. All right, let me try to find a spiker here. I want to run one over and show you guys. It's pretty fun. Oh, there's one. See if he comes after me. He should come find me. I think he saw me. Where'd he go? There, he's running down there. Oh, he's chasing a deer. He killed the poor deer. That's what he did. I don't think he can get to me from there easily. Let me try to find another one. Back I go. We're also going to, as far as for sale, I don't. The one that kind of appeared wasn't supposed to appear. It was a mix-up. We had one queued up and we canceled it several days before the sale started. And for some reason, Steam still put it live. So it wasn't supposed to happen. And then Steam, for some reason, automatically canceled it after a couple of hours as well. So yeah, it was kind of a mess. But they did all that for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. So as for sale, don't know. It'll be a while probably. We need to get the game a little bit more stable. One of the things we have done is make a lot of optimizations to the network, and the experimental server will be pushing a version live probably the next couple of days again that increases the player count. Not sure where all the spikers went. When I wanted to find them, they're not here. We're also going to be, I don't want to spoil it too much, but we're going to be adding some new features to vehicles soon, which should be a lot of fun for players. Come on, where'd they all go? Knowing my luck, I won't be able to find any here now that I want to. Ugh. Need to fix those bridges again. It's weird, these bridges, every time we save the level, they move slightly. And that's why, if you've noticed, they get a little bit higher each time. So every few weeks we have to go in and lower the bridges back down. I don't think we have a full list of developers that's external somewhere. We're actually going to update our website. It's kind of in progress right now. And one of the things we'll have on it is actually a list of all the people on the team. Kind of a short little bio of everybody, for those that are interested in that. Even if we can find a deer, I'd be happy right now. As far as for the AI as well, I will mention that supposedly the next version of the CryEngine SDK, they've optimized some of the AI, and so we'll look at adding some more AI at that point. Right now, as everybody I think probably knows that's followed the game, the network layer is kind of killing us currently. There's a truck. I'll grab the truck. And so we've been working on a lot more of that. You know, getting that to work better. There we go. I like the truck a lot. I like the sounds. It's also faster. Let's see. If you leave the server while in a vehicle, does it save? Yes. And if you log back in, a lot of times it'll just put you on top of the vehicle, in fact. You'll be standing on it. You'll either be the side of it or standing on it, assuming it's still there. Where are they at? Well, I'm not sure. Haven't even heard one. Maybe we'll have to have a player and run over a player just for fun. I don't know where those other guys went. They're still around somewhere. As far as for the FOV, you can change it, but it's manual right now. So you can come up here and change it. So there's a CL_FOV. You can also put that in a config file. The reason we haven't done it yet is we're going to redo the entire GUI at some point, and at that point, then we'll add a lot more options to it. So we're currently reskinning it to make it look more like this look. You know, the kind of more modern look. And then at a future point, we're actually going to redo the whole main menu GUI and make it a lot better. That's kind of a placeholder that I made personally, you know, a couple of years ago, and that's why it just isn't very good. Kind of more modern look, and then at a future point, we're actually going to redo the whole main menu. I can hear you guys through Twitch, through your VoIP. Email, yeah, you can just send it to. I'll put it in chat, in fact. I'll just type it in here. You can just send it to me there. Alright, guys. I'm trying to find spikers to run over. Let's see. I'm looking for some.
Ran over like 10 of them a second ago.
Should have saved some for me. I'm trying to find them. There's one.
We're all chasing deers, man. Get them, get them, get them.
I'll come back for him. Let's see here. Don't shoot him! Well, so much for that one. I want to run him over. So much for that. Anyway. So the player limit cap.
Hey, bro.
I was going to run him over. So the player limit cap. You know, right now it's 8, and we're
There's
gonna
one over there by that bus.
over where? Oh. The experimental server went up to 16 and see how it runs. Ugh. It's not the best place to try to run over. No, I'm gonna get high centered. Oh no. Well,
Oh,
that
you
was
got
fun.
too excited.
That was fun while it lasted. Somebody push me. Oh well, so much for that vehicle. Look at my tow car again.
Where'd you go?
AR-15. One of these guys has one, I think. Do any of you guys have the, we call it AT-15. Do you guys have, any of you have the AT-15? One of the guys wants to see you shoot it. The particle effects and light and stuff are slightly off, I noticed on it, but...
I ran out of ammo for it. I was going a little crazy earlier.
Oh. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah, and whenever we get bullets, and you know, the developers all
Maybe
kill
we
each
can
other.
find a quad to push.
Let's see.
Truck.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so yeah, we've had to keep lowering it down, and the people that have kind of followed, we went with Crytek at GDC, and they've committed to helping us fix the
Nice
network
shot.
issues. And so we've went and done a lot of optimizations on it since we had the vehicles in. So we're going to try to go to 16 in the experimental server, as I mentioned, the next couple of days, and then we'll just kind of see how it behaves at that point. And hopefully we can get some more information from Crytek and increase it beyond that. For this map, we'd like to be able to support 64 for this map size. Any more than that, it would just be, I think it'd just be a death match in all of the cities. Alright, trying to find another one. These guys keep ruining all my fun. They kill all the spikers for me. Alright, I'm going this way. Oh, there's one. Don't kill him, I want him to chase me out. Then I'll, No, you guys... He's gonna chase you now. Anyway. Alright, going this way. Try to find another one that I can run over. Yeah, you know, a lot of people, the sound of a lot more players sounds good to people in general, but from a playability standpoint, you get much beyond that in a map this size, and I don't know. I think there'd just be too many players, and it turns into a deathmatch a lot more with too many players. The long-term plan is to have different maps we can kind of chain and link together. And when we do that, then, you know, each of the servers would be able to support that many. So, kind of like sharding, essentially. Let me go back down this way. Try to find one. Yeah, I'd like to get to 64. I think it would be a good number for this world. Yeah, I hope we can get to 32 soon.
Sharding.
Alright. He's stuck on the fence, looks like. There we go. Oh, there he went. He's stuck in the ground upside down. They usually ragdoll better than that. Let me try to get this guy. There we go. Clipped him. There's a video, I should probably share, but there's a video where you can actually flip them over the truck and get them to land in the bed of the truck and drive around with them for a few minutes as well. Eventually the physics system will kick them out if they're in the back of the truck too long, because it's, you know, it's trying to synchronize the location of them in the back of the truck to all the clients. But it does work. You can flip them over and land them in the truck and drive around for a while. So it's pretty fun. Let me ask these guys if they have any chem lights. See if they have any chem lights. You guys have any chem lights?
Yeah, there's chem lights in this truck here.
Alright, I'm gonna change mine to night if you want to throw some. Show you something to chem lights. We've been working a lot, just kind of on, you know, a lot of these little things. That was a smoke grenade, but okay. Anyway, you can see they're all synchronized and everything, so all the players can see them. So some of these things are kind of hard to find in the game. And there's been a recommendation to increase the, you know, to make them a little bit more popular in the game so you can see them and use them more. But right now it's kind of rare to find these things. It's kind of a fun little thing to play with. Oh, I'll go show you some of the couple new things that. I'm going to show you a couple of the new things that got added. Let's see. It's going to take me a while to get there. It's clear on the other side of the map. And I'm in a slow vehicle. Oh, there's a spiker going after a deer. Oh, here's a deer. Oh, 2 deer! It's going to be... Oh, I thought it was going to be a twofer. Oh, stopped. Anyway. So ragdolling is quite fun, especially when you hit players. As a side note, the smoke grenades are kind of busted a little bit right now. If you throw them in the air and they explode in the air, that doesn't work real well. And that'll be something we're working on fixing. It just wasn't a priority right now. But so we will improve the smoke grenades. We had them working a lot better back in the old 3.4 version of CryEngine from a couple of years ago. So we'll go back and implement them kind of like that. Duct taping chem lights to stuff? Not sure. We're actually going to be expanding the crafting system quite a lot. We have an internal list of a lot of items. Nice jump, bud. Oh, I wasn't watching. I was watching the replay. I guess he was trying to ramp it off the bridge. Yeah, we do have duct tape in the game. It's currently used for one crafted weapon, but we're going to be using it for a lot of other stuff soon. We're trying to find another programmer right now, because unfortunately that's one of the things that's really limiting us on the amount of gameplay features we can add, is find another programmer. So when we find another one, we'll be get stuff in the game a lot faster. In my time, I don't get to spend nearly as much time programming features as I would like. Probably half my day at least I spend on managerial stuff and checking stuff in the game and all that type of stuff instead of working on features. So that's one of the reasons the features are a little bit slower. Oh, I'm dying. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a subtle effect with the screen pulsing. Wait, I need to eat something here. Okay. Yep, I need to fix that little glitch. Alright, get back in. Alright, I'll start healing again. Yeah, I'm going to the other side of the map. Like I said, it's going to take me a minute to get there, though. This thing isn't the fastest vehicle in the world. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask and I'll answer them as I'm going. Yeah, as I mentioned, the crafting's going to be expanded quite a lot. We're constantly adding little things to it. One of the things, if you use the vehicles, we made some more adjustments on the view. Being able to look up, down, all this type of stuff as well. It does restrict you the faster you go. It restricts you to viewing to the front, and that's something I want to change for sure. So if you try to look behind you, it flips you back, as you kind of see it rubber banding back there. So it makes it really hard to look behind you currently. And so that's something we'll be working on as well. There's so many things we want to work on in this game. We have a massive list of stuff. It just takes time for a team our size to get stuff done. It just let's see. I'm trying to think what else we've added. The main thing I've been working on since the last patch is all the network issues and this, the vehicle smoothness. So we have quite a lot of that. That took a lot of my time over the last few days. Let's see here. Yeah. So the last patch we actually fixed a lot of the vehicle-related bugs with the inventory and logging in and out and everything. Yeah, Winchester we're actually accepting resumes right now from, a few people. Our priority right now is finding another programmer, though. That's the thing that's holding up the features in the game, is just a programmer to kind of help me out with a lot of those. So that's our priority first, is finding a programmer. On the artist side, we're always welcoming more help, but we have quite a few artists currently. We have 2 level designers. We have 2 full-time animators and then a part-time animator as well. So a lot of the other bases are kind of covered, except for the programming side. I'll go this way. So this city I'm in here is called Pinecrest. This is one of the ones we added back in, I think, patch 14. We added Pinecrest. And then, I'm going to take the quad. Thank goodness. That car is just way too slow. Oh, by the way, we are running, as I mentioned, as a... let me turn this one off. There we go. I am running on a kind of a cheat mode right now, so I don't have to have parts for the vehicles. That's just to make it a lot easier to show you guys what's going on. But normally you have to have all those parts. No, I'm not dying. I won't lose health until my food and water are all gone. As I mentioned, there's quite a few things that affect your health and your regeneration in this game. And I'll give you a little tip that one of those is your food and water level. If you have those maxed out, you regenerate faster. Can you blow the gas station up? No. Right now, the only thing you shoot in the game and blow up are the green jerry cans. If you find a green jerry can, you can pick it up and then drop it. You have to pick it up and drop it first. And then once you drop it, then you can shoot it and blow them up. In fact, if I find one, I'll show you. Is it? Yeah, I agree. It's really hard to find decent developers, and CryEngine is actually kind of hard because there just isn't a lot of people using CryEngine. So it's trying to find somebody that has CryEngine experience is pretty much impossible. Let's see, how frequent are vehicle spawns How many spawns? So right now there are 6 spawns for each vehicle type. Well, there are 6 vehicles that spawn of each type, of each 3 types. So there's 18 vehicles in the world at once. But each of those has a lot of spawn locations. I believe there's over 25 per vehicle or something right now. And some of them are clear off in the middle of nowhere. So I'll tell you that. So if you can't find one, sometimes you have to go off and look in the places players normally don't go. Try to find a jerry can. I'll shoot it and show you. Not seeing one there. Go check a gas station. Yeah, if I can find one, I'll show you. It actually does damage, and it also does a pressure wave when you blow up the jerry cans. So if a player's standing next to it, it'll damage the player as well. So you can actually use them as a trap if you want. You put a couple jerry cans, and they're also chain reaction. So if you have a couple jerry cans next to each other, they'll blow each other up when one blows up. So you know, you put some inside of a doorway. When a player enters, you can shoot the jerry can and ignite them all at once. That was just kind of one of the first things we added to the game. It's kind of an explosive device for fun. Yeah, thanks on the world. The level designers doing a great job. We're actually going to be adding. We want to make it more apocalyptic feeling, and I'll show you one of the things here in just a second we've added. I just want to check here for jerry cans first. Need just the idle sound on that quad. You can't hear it. Come on, jerry can. Where did the jerry cans go? I'll find one eventually. Oops, I turned it off. The idle sound's way too low, and so it's hard to know if it's on. There's a truck. Let's see, I want to go over here. I'll show you this. Alright, so there's some new stuff that got added over here the level designers have been working on. Hopefully they don't get mad at me for showing this before it's all the way done. So we started adding body bags to the game. As you can see here. Like I said, trying to give it just kind of the more of that general post-APOC feeling. I was talking with the lead level designer today and talking to him about, you know, somehow showing that a lot of players have died, a lot of people have died in the world, stuff like that as well. Yeah, Scopod, there's a reason for that. It's part of the story of the game, because kind of the general story, just quickly, is there was a nuclear war, and once that happened, then society kind of stopped advancing at that point. But we set it far enough in the world to kind of justify having mutants, is why. But it definitely isn't a futuristic game at all. Hey, thanks Winchester, appreciate it. It's quite challenging at this level of detail in the world and still have it run really well. We wouldn't be able to do this with any other engine. We've had our hiccups with CryEngine. I think everybody is well aware of the fact. But there just is not another game engine that will let us do this. It just isn't possible in any of the others out there. They would just all die. Especially with the lighting. Trying to bake lighting for something like this in Unreal would just take forever. I'm not trying to rip on other game engines at all. Don't take it that way. But CryEngine lets us do this and still get incredible frame rates. There is an issue with the AMD FX CPUs that Crytek is well aware of. So a lot of people that are having issues with frame rate, it's because of a lot of them are, those guys have AMD FX CPUs. My understanding, I don't know all the technical details. My understanding is they're just not very good at streaming data fast, or something along those lines. So take that with a grain of salt. I'm not quite sure the specifics there, but there's definitely an issue with them. Because right now we use a lot of VRAM. I believe there's usually jerry cans in here. There's no, it is stuck in there. Let me drop some of this stuff here. Sorry, I'm just going to look here. What else can I drop? I don't need oil. I want to pick up this chair. There we go. All right. Hey, awesome. Anyway, so there's a jerry can. Yeah, I'm not sure on the AMD graphics cards. From my understanding, the biggest issue is actually the CPUs. But I do know some things. For example, the tessellation doesn't work nearly as well on the AMD as it does on the NVIDIA cards, and so we try to reduce the amount of tessellation we do in the world, just because of the AMD processors, video cards as well. Like I said, those jerry cans there, as I mentioned, they will do damage to players. So if you shoot one with a player, let me go back through the questions here. Sorry. Are you planning on adding character customization, like changing your character race? Yes. We're actually redoing our main player character right now. This is one that was made. A lot of the I shouldn't say a lot. Some of these models have been around for 2+ years when we first started, and we're well aware that a lot of these things need to be updated, and so we're actually having a new character made. It's already in progress, in fact, right now. And so once it's done, we're going to go back and update all the clothes as well. A lot of the clothes are really low resolution for what we want, and so we're going to go back and do that and do customization and stuff at the same time. Yeah, Evolve is a full source license. Yeah, on the VRAM right now, and I don't want to scare you, right now I believe we're using around 2.5 gigabytes of VRAM. But we added in the options to reduce your texture resolution, and there's a way you can do that manually, which will help immensely and get it way down. You can get it down to about 1/4 of that size, in fact, which will be fine on a 1 gigabyte card. So you just need to set your texture resolution to 1. If you don't know how to do that, post on Steam or something, but there's already posts on Steam about how to set that up. But yeah, that'll help immensely if you have a 1 gigabyte card. See, carry slot to the combat boots. For a knife or something, I presume you mean? We actually have some other slots that we're probably going to use at some time to replace these for other stuff. I don't want to say what they are, but we have other slots we want to use for stuff. So we've talked about being able to attach other items. We can pretty much do anything we want with items. The current running animation, we actually did replace the running animation. I don't know if you saw it before or not. Oops. So this is the current running animation, and that's a lot better than the one we had before. It still does, So let me just talk quickly about animations. Every update like I said, we have 2 full-time animators and a part-time animator, and so every update there's usually several dozen animations that get tweaked and adjusted and everything. And so there's a lot of that goes on. A holster for weapons, yeah, we'll probably add that at some point as well. Our item system allows us to store items inside of items as deep, as many levels as we want to go. So we can actually do that. So we can have side holsters, chest holsters, all that type of stuff. Yeah, the flare. I shot one off a little while ago, but I presume you weren't here then. So let me show you. Let me change it to nighttime again. In fact, the particle effect for this just got updated today. There it is. I have a couple more. I got a few of them. It also has physics on it, so it'll actually bounce off of stuff as well. So it's a we call it a physicalized projectile. Yeah, the two primary guns. The reason for that is the inventory list gets too long, and if you're on a low resolution, it goes off the bottom of the screen. And that's the only reason why that slot's disabled currently, is just for that. We're going to eventually make a lot of this into a scrollable window, so you can scroll, and that won't be a problem. Any chance of adding a boat? I'll just say possibly. How's that? And I'll leave it at that. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I really like the flare effect. We made it last 2 minutes as well. I think they're set to 2 minutes. Yeah, we might update that as well and increase the duration. Like the chem lights are 15 minutes and the flare is only 2 minutes. So we'll probably update that. I need to find some food. Yeah. Yeah, the character we definitely want to update. There's a lot of old stuff around in this game, like this car, is horrible as far as for the texture resolution. We're well aware of it. And a lot of these things just aren't a priority. Gameplay features and stuff like that are more of a priority than updating some junk car. So a lot of these things will be updated eventually. There's just a lot of that type of stuff that will need to be improved. We are going to add I know a lot of people wanted like a reloading mechanism, and I'm not going to say how it's going to work, but we are going to add that. I'm just not sure when that'll be. You can bounce them along the road and everything as well. As you see, it bounces over stuff, so yeah. Kind of fun to play with. Yeah, it does do damage. I don't remember how much it is. I think it's the same as a pistol shot if you hit him with it, if I remember right. I think that's what it's set up to be. I need to find some food, though. I'm going to die. I need to fix that idle sound, so you know it's running. You can hear the sound as well. We have a lot of fun adding little details to the game. I don't know if a lot of the users, I think, I shouldn't say that. I think a lot of the users do appreciate the little details, but it's really easy to overlook a lot of little details as well. But we do add a lot of little details to the game. I'm just gonna pig out on some food here for a minute. Hey, a floating can. Need to fix that still. Need to get my health up to get rid of the little blur effect you can see. So there's some duct tape, in fact, right there. So the little blur effect is just a subtle way of reminding you that you're below 50% on health. Let's see. Let me bandage. Get my regeneration going back up. Alright. But if you guys played the prior patch, there were a lot of issues with the quad flipping over. And as you can see, it's immensely better now. You can brake and turn and stop and go down hills and everything now without any problems. So the quad is actually a lot of fun now to drive. Catch players on fire? Not yet. So you can take that as a hint that it will be coming. Right now, we're actually working on our... For anybody that's been around a long time, year and a half or so, we had our arrows and bows working a long time ago, where when you shot a player or doors or anything, they would stick into it, like other people have copied now. And we're working on that system again to get all that functional right now, in fact. And that's what the bows are waiting for. in fact, is that feature. Just the sticky projectiles again. But yeah, you know, you can see the quad just behaves really well now. Like I said, it's actually a lot of fun to drive. Let me see if I can flip it over, in fact, and I'll show you. Let's see, what can I hit? See if I can ramp it and flip myself off. And I'll show you the... I need to find the car with the ramp. Oh. Little tip also, if you need to find car wheels, they spawn a lot of times on top of vehicles. See that one there? So that's another place you can find car wheels, on top of all broken vehicles. Let's see. I need to try to ramp this thing. Come on, flip over. Probably not going to be able to now that I want to. Okay, I'll probably do it off this car's hood. Yeah. Sorry. Try and flip it over for you guys. I don't know if I'll be able to. It might take me a while. It's like I said, it's a lot harder now to flip these things over. Come on, flip over. See, when you want them to flip over, they just don't cooperate very well. Yeah, come on, you can do it. There we go. Okay, so there's one that's flipped over. So now if you just do inner vehicle now, it tries to upright it for you. There you go. So now you can actually, you know, if you flip one over, you can actually use it again. Oh, stop the engine. Okay, let me see questions. Miscreated was just because of the mutants in the game. They're miscreated humans, essentially. We've got a little bit of flack for the name, but, you know, that's the way it is. Game map, we're actually discussing what we can do there. It's actually on our list to implement something, we just don't know what. Do you plan on adding jumps around the map out for the quads? We've talked about it, actually, yes. We thought it'd be a fun little thing to add, as you know, just somewhere you can kind of have fun if you want to just have fun with the vehicles. I'll let other people... I mean, there's a lot of differences between this game, but there's also a lot of similarities. You know, just because it is a survival game. But there's a lot of people that have done comparisons and, you know, kind of third-party analysis of the game. I'm going to go up in the backwoods here and show you some of the things that players might not have seen yet. Like I said, I'm just having fun tonight, just kind of messing off and answering questions, so I didn't have an agenda besides just playing around. I think the other players might have bailed on me. The cars, no, you can't flip the cars over. They're a lot harder to flip over, though. You almost have to really try. I mean, even you saw with the quad, it took me a few seconds of really trying there to flip it over. So, if you're driving normally, you shouldn't have any issues at all with the vehicles flipping over. You know, it's just when you kind of go wild with them. Let's see, I want to go back up in here. In fact, I always go through the middle of nowhere for fun, show you. The other guns, we have an internal list of guns to add. The more military-style weapons we're holding off on for now. We want to increase the map first before we add. You know, we're not going to go super on the military weapons either. But we were talking about scopes the other day, in fact, in team chat, and for the scopes, you know, the map's getting big enough now. We'll probably look at adding a scope here soon. It just didn't make a lot of sense when the playable area was small to start with. So we're kind of taking a different approach than other people. What we're doing is with the map is we're releasing parts of the map as they get detailed and filled out. And you know, that's just a call on our part, instead of releasing a big map that has almost nothing in the whole map. So it's just, you know, just the way we're approaching things instead. Yes, there is bullet drop in the game. Everything is affected. Even wind affects your projectiles, in fact. If you get something really light, like a chem light, and throw it, if you look, you can actually see the wind blow it slightly. So yes, bullet drop is in. All the weapons have different bullet drop. They're actually simulated after real-world values. See, here's a quad spawn. Like I said, the quad spawns are a lot of them are kind of hidden, in fact. So you kind of have to, if you're looking for some of these vehicles, you really have to start searching. Also, one thing that's kind of unique to our game is the grass. Even vehicles bend down grass. So as you can see, I'm going here forward in the quad. It's actually moving the grass as well. And if you go really fast, there's a subtle wind effect behind vehicles as well that affects the grass. Auto run is actually in, but it isn't exposed. So what I mean by that is there's a CVAR for it. Let's see, what is it called? Sprint toggle 1. So here's me running. I'm trying to remember how it works now. Okay, here's me sprinting. So there we go. So I pressed it once and now I'm in permanent sprint mode. I pressed it again and now I'm off. So it is in the game, it just isn't exposed. Yeah, a lot of things that worked in Crysis 3 will work the same in this game. It's using a lot of the same stuff. So auto run is in, like I said, it just isn't exposed. A lot of that stuff, as I mentioned, we're going to redo when we redo the whole main menu. It needs to be redone badly. See, tell us what that white station above Woodhaven is. Everyone's dying to know. That is actually an observatory. I don't know if we'll end up making it or not. We want to, but it's going to be a lot of work for one specialized asset, so we'll see. But that's what it's supposed to be, is an observatory. Do you guys pretend to add attachments like in Crysis? Since what do you mean pretend? I'm not sure what you mean pretend to add attachments. They are a little bit bugged right now, but they're real attachments. So can you clarify what you need, what you want there? Yeah, as far as for the scopes, we'll definitely be adding scopes. It's just a matter of when we get those in. All right, here we go. Oh no! There we go. At least it didn't flip over. Little campsite up in the middle of nowhere. There's quite a few of these little things we've started spraying around the map. So yeah, if you guys can find a quad, they're a lot of fun. Your character held the gun in front of him when you add... Oh! I'm not sure how we want to do that yet. We were actually discussing that. I don't know if we'll implement that type of a system or not. Right now it's drag and drop. So we'll probably stay at the drag and drop. I'm not sure if we'll do anything fancy or not. We could definitely do, we could definitely do something like that if we wanted to. Another little camp. There's a vehicle spawn here as well. So, later on in the game, if you can't find vehicles, you really start looking at kind of all these out-of-the-way places. Oh, there it is there. The quad's sitting right there. I missed it. Let's see. Yeah, let me check your link. I think I know what you mean, though. Let me bring up your link and make sure. Yeah, we've talked about that. I don't know if we'll do that or not. Right now it's done just like magazines, just drag and drop in here. And then we could always play an animation that matches it. One of the things we need is a GUI programmer as well. As I mentioned, I made the UI a long time ago, and I'll admit it's not very good. It isn't very good, and it's lacking a lot of functionality. And we're aware of it. It's just a lot of things just comes down to priority, and just what we want to add. Like this little area isn't quite finished yet in Pinecrest. But there's already a lot of detail, in my opinion, in the world. A lot more than you'll see in any other games like this. Yeah, so with Chris mentioned there about the cheating stuff. So we do have Valve's anti-cheat running. We have easy anti-cheat running, and easy anti-cheat's great because it prevents all the trivial hacks like cheat engine and all that crap. None of those will work, and so you have to go to a professional grade cheat to start having anything that'll work again. And right now, as far as we're aware, just because the game isn't real popular yet, as far as we're aware, there are not any professional level cheats yet for this game. And so right now it's actually quite fun to play it because trivial cheats don't work and the professional cheats don't exist. And then on top of that, we have a full logging system as well that tracks things that players are doing, and we go and review those still quite often, and we can ban players based on all kinds of stats. So there's quite a lot we're trying to do, but as you know, the guys that make cheat programs make a lot of money at them, and they're very clever and good at what they do. So here, just an example of the bushes moving as I drive through them. We really like the whole bush moving stuff. Makes it a lot harder to sneak up on players if you're sneaking through bushes. Trello page is actually being worked on. I don't think we've publicly disclosed that yet, but there is one. Let's see, third-person camera. Yeah, the third-person camera. CryEngine wasn't made to do a third-person camera like we're using, and so we've tried to implement our own, and it definitely has issues, and it definitely needs to be improved. And I think that's something we'll come back and work on at some point. It does have some real oddities to it. So yeah, it definitely needs some love at some point. We've been adding, one of the things, we do add a lot of stuff each patch. People will say, well, why, if there are bugs in the game, why are you adding new areas and stuff? It's because obviously people work on different stuff. And so, we added, sound effects to the rivers and all kinds of stuff like that, all these little details as well. And in some of these recent patches. Yeah, we're really having a lot of fun with the detail in the game. It's really enjoyable. And like I said, I do apologize. It does make it hard for, especially people with AMD products right now, to enjoy the game. But if you have NVIDIA and Intel, you should not have much of an issue at all playing this game. One gigabyte video card might be a little bit rough unless you go to low texture quality, but I ran it on my 670 for a long time, and it ran perfectly fine. I was getting 50 frames a second, 50 to 60 in it on my 670. I'm going to go down the military area. I think most people have. One of the things I'll mention is the different terrains have different friction values to them, and so on grass, you'll slide out a lot more on grass than you will on roads, for example. Every surface type on the ground has a different friction level associated with it. And so if you're driving in the grass, you'll notice you slide on your vehicles a lot more. Alright, I'm going to go up here really fast. There are some cabins and stuff up that way as well that things spawn at. Another quad. As you can see, I'm sliding more on this dirt road. Just a second, I'll get to the questions. I think Chris is trying to answer a lot of them. There we go. Now I'm on the road again. Alright. So this is the military base. I think, you know, pretty much everybody's seen the military base by now, but I'll go take a little quick tour through it. Let's see. Ghillie suits. Let me see what Chris is at. So ghillie suits, you know, we're definitely going to be adding more clothing options. As I mentioned, right now we're waiting for the new player model to be done because it's going to cause a lot of rework with everything we have already in the game. Okay, KKS already answered you, so I'm just repeating what he said. Yeah, I spend a lot of time on server issues. I know it's really hard to see that from outside, but I spend an enormous amount of time trying to optimize the network. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be pushing out a patch to the experimental server soon and try to get back up. Try to get back up to at least 16 players. And for those of you following it, we did meet with Crytek at GDC, you know, the Game Developers Conference last week, and they've committed from the CEO level down to help us resolve the network issues. So you know, I do apologize, but it's just a matter of time until those are resolved. The render distance, you can adjust all this stuff ton. Like I said, we just don't expose a lot of it right now is the thing. But the vegetation, you can adjust the vegetation distance and everything. But right now, a lot of the stuff is set kind of low because, you know, people do have issues like, you know, on some of the processors and video cards. But it's all adjustable like, you know, any other game. Let's see. How was GDC overall? GDC was a lot of fun, honestly. I went last year, but last year was a day trip for me. I went down and back in the same day. It's about an hour and a half flight for me. And this year we went down all week, attended classes and everything. The one thing I will say is I don't know if it's worth the money for the full thing or not. You pay $1,500 to go to the classes. It's, in my opinion, it's really iffy on whether the classes are worth $1,500 or not. You do get access to their vault, which gives you access to all the old talks and everything, which is really nice. And I haven't had a chance to go through and look at any of those yet. So it's quite possible I'll find some, you know, really good nuggets in there. I attended a lot of AI classes, in fact, while I was there, and some of the AI classes were really good, and some of them were not worth, you know, the time being there. Let's see. But yeah, we met a lot of good people. You know, Crytek did invite us into their booth, which was great. So we got to meet a lot of the Crytek guys. They were great hosts. Spent a lot of time with them in the evenings as well. Went to their little Crytek party and everything. A lot of fun. So yeah, those guys are great. The nice thing about the developers conference is you have a lot of tech companies that go there. So we met with a lot of mocap style solutions. You know, AI people were there, sound guys were there, and you know, just, you know, a lot of different people were there that were, you know, we could talk to. So we got a lot of feelers out as well. Yeah, as I mentioned, optimization it's ongoing, and Chris said that as well. Like I said, it really depends on the hardware right now is the issue. Yeah, vehicle. Yeah, I don't know if you're following. If you don't follow me on Twitter, go follow me on Twitter. It's just at Miscreated Game. I did tweet out about the vehicle animations. They're vastly improved since the last patch. This one gets out of sync. He isn't moving his handlebars like he's supposed to. But anyway. But yeah, they're enormously better. Yeah. Handling's better. The views are better. The only thing right now that needs improvement is if you're watching another vehicle, it's a little bit, if you're watching another player's vehicle, it jerks a little bit. And I think I know how we can fix that as well. And so we'll add that to our list. But yeah, they run a lot better. So in first person, the eye is actually tied to the vehicle itself, and that's why it bounces up and down, is because my vehicle is bouncing up and down in first person. If you're on a smooth road, it wouldn't be bouncing at all. So it only bounces here, for example, when I hit a little bump in the road. But in third person, it's perfectly smooth. Yeah, we adjusted. This is another thing we spent a lot of time on, was adjusting and fine-tuning stuff. We've had a lot of internal play sessions with vehicles over the last week, roughly, I guess. The reloading with the bow, we'll probably use our new reloading system. I mentioned earlier we're working on a new system for reloading. So you won't have to drag and drop every single arrow. Yeah, that would just be way too tedious, and would not make it fun at all. Let's see. I don't want to go on for too long, but as long as you guys have questions, I'll continue to answer them. More mutants. Two things on the mutants. One is, because of the underlying network issues, we've been really hesitant to add more as far as for quantities go, because all those obviously do have to be synchronized. And I don't understand why, but CryEngine seems just to not be very, I shouldn't say optimized, but I guess it wasn't intended for a game like this. And so adding a lot of stuff, being able to support 100 players in a game nowadays should be possible on almost any game engine, in my opinion. It's just, their engine, network layer just wasn't meant to handle it, I guess, or wasn't designed to handle it. And so that's what they're going to be working with us on, is improving that a lot. So we can definitely get more players and more AI and more vehicles in the game. The more we add, it just causes more network issues. Why can I never connect to servers? I'm not sure. I've heard of a couple guys on Steam mention that as well. Each time we update a DLL that has all of our game logic in it, and I'm just assuming that either Windows Firewall or something is hitting that DLL because it gets updated and blocking it or something. I'm not sure, but it isn't anything we're doing. It's something on the local computers that's causing it, and I'm not sure all the exact details yet. But yeah, we've had several people report that. So the EA, so if you're using OBS, and in fact I think some of the others, you have to go in and there's an option in it for anti-cheat systems, and that has to be checked. If not, it will not work. I was going to show you, there's a cave here. It's kind of one of the newer ones. We added some small caves in as well for fun. Let's see, where's it at? I think it's right here. Yeah, there it is. So it's just one little teeny caves we added for fun in, I think it was in update 14. So just another little cave that got added. The guy that worked on the caves added 3 caves. 2 of them are pretty easy to find, and the third one, I don't think anybody's ever going to find it unless somebody cheats. And hopefully nobody on the team ever discloses where it's at. It's very hard to find. Yeah, so Neo Ash, I can talk about that briefly. So we were using the 3.4 version of CryEngine a long time ago, and had the game. You know, if you go back and look at our, we have a lot of old videos from like 2 years ago. However, at that time we had to have a special version from Crytek to release the game, and they never sent us one for the version we were using, so we could actually publicly release it. And then they decided to release 3.5 and 3.6 instead, and that caused us to redo pretty much the entire game. So we basically implemented this game twice, and people have been around a long time following us. I appreciate it, but yeah, we basically had to start completely over when the 3.5 version came out. We had to redo all the game logic, all the code had to be completely rewritten, and a lot of the textures all had to be updated because of PBR materials, and it caused just a massive amount of rework. So that's why. Hey Neerash, if you can't get it to work, contact me or something, but you do have to enable the anti-cheat mode in the streaming software. If not, I think windowed may still work, but not like game capture. I think that's the way. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's the way it works. But obviously, I'm using OBS, so random events, yes. In fact, somebody asked about we'd have some helicopters in the game. Those are not going to be like Daisy helicopter crashes. They are just wrecked helicopters, so those won't be spawning loot. So yeah, we're not going to copy Daisy there, but they're just there for fun. Let's see. Where are you located at? Gurs 0821. If you're in Asia, that's probably the case. Anywhere else, I'm not sure. We're trying to spread servers around. Let me look what I'm using. In fact, I am using 065B 64-bit. Let's see. I really don't have anything else I want to show, because I was just kind of playing around tonight, just for fun. Sometimes I need a break from staring at code all day. What do you think, Chris? Anything else I'm missing? Yeah, a map system, we've talked about it. I did mention this a little bit earlier, but you might not have been here. We do have the maps on all the bus stops that we're adding. We did not copy another game. We were actually doing that when they added theirs, so we already had it in the plan. We just came with the same idea. But we'll probably do something else. We're just not sure yet as well. Yeah, as Chris said, we actually were discussing that. Yeah, in the old version you were afraid to go this fast because you'd always die. But with all of our new updates, you can just have a lot of fun now on these vehicles. Located in Kansas. Huh, that's very odd. I believe I'm trying to remember where the servers are located at. I think they're in Chicago. Pretty sure they're in Chicago. So it's really weird why you'd have a 200 ping to them. I'm not sure why that would be. All right, I'm gonna flip my quad, guys. Here we go. Oh, and I missed him. Yeah, it's playing hard to get. Where's he at? There he is. So as a note, they're supposed to damage you on a vehicle. It isn't quite working. They will hit you sometimes. Just not all the time. But it is intended for them to hurt you while you're on a vehicle. Oh. I think the way it works right now is if you get them mad first, if you attack them first and then get in your vehicle, they'll attack you still. Yep, that didn't work. I needed more velocity. Anyway. This quad doesn't weigh as much as a car, so it's a lot harder to run them over. So, one of the issues with the lag, though, is the network layer right now is really struggling, even with the 8 players. And so I think that's one of the reasons for a lot of the lag that everybody's experiencing is because it is kind of struggling, which is amazing with only 8 players. It's having a problem, but it is. One of the best things to do if you're in a game, take an item and drop it and see how smoothly it falls. If it falls fairly smoothly, then you know that the server's frame rate is high and it's processing data fast enough. If it freezes in the air or like you only see it once or twice before it hits the ground, then you know the server is still having issues processing stuff fast enough. So that's exactly what I do in a game. If I think it's having issues, I just take an item from my inventory and drop it. We have rain and fog in the game. There's 3 levels of each currently. There's light, medium, and heavy of each. Snow, we're probably not going to do snow anytime soon. The reason for that, we don't have access to the shader source of CryEngine. And if there's a snow entity you can place, and it will put snow over all of the terrain and the rocks and stuff, but it doesn't put snow on the vegetation. So the only time you'll ever see it is just on the ground. And if you played Arcade, I think over the winter, that's what they were using, is that type of snow entity. Because I saw a screenshot of Arcade, and I saw snow on the ground but not on any vegetation. And that's exactly what it would look like if we did it. So I don't think we'll do it anytime soon. See, okay. Yeah, what's weird is night isn't that dark. We've actually been talking a lot about making it darker, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you can see this. So that's as dark as it gets in the game right now. If you're in the middle of the forest, it looks really dark, but if you're out in the open, it actually isn't very dark yet. It's a little bit darker on stream than it is in my game, but in fact it's quite a lot darker. But it isn't that bad. One of the reasons, we've actually had people request to make it darker at night, and one of the reasons it isn't by default is because when a weather pattern hits, like fog or rain, it darkens up the world as part of the process. And when if you get a heavy rain or a heavy fog at night, it gets a lot darker. And so that's one of the reasons for it. Let me turn my time of day back up to something here. There we go. See. Why when a friend of mine is running next to me, his gun animations are starting to spaz? Some of them do that, and it's just a process we're going through trying to update animations. So it's just purely because the animations need to be improved. That's why it does that. Why is it when I turn it looks like the grass renders again? The procedural vegetation on the ground, it stays there, but if you turn fast, what it does is it enables the physics on grass, and so you might see the grass move if you spin around. I don't know if that's what you're seeing or not. Because once you view the grass, it physicalizes them again and starts moving. So I'm not sure if that's what you're seeing or not. Yeah, it should be a lot less noticeable now because we turned. Before we had all. Before we had all the grass movement turned off, and so now you can see that the grass moves, so it should be less noticeable. And the trees move now as well. We added that in the patch, just kind of give a little more life to the world. Environmental sounds. What are you thinking? We do have some. But we can definitely add a lot more environmental sounds. Some places don't have them hooked up, I don't think either. But as I mentioned earlier, we just added environmental sounds to the river, in fact, this last patch. In fact, I'll go down the river and show you. There's a few we don't have, we don't have the underwater ambient sound hooked up yet. We do have the sound files. So when you're swimming underneath the water, it's perfectly quiet right now. The reason mutants disappear is if they can't find a path, if they're chasing you. No. Okay, that was close. No. Sorry, get out of the water. The way they work right now is if a mutant's chasing you and it can't resolve a path to you, then they remove themselves so they don't get stuck. And so that's probably what you're seeing. And when CryEngine releases their next version of the SDK, I mentioned this earlier, they're supposed to have a lot better system in it for calculating AI and navigation. And we'll go back and redo all the navigation stuff. And we're also talking with a third-party company as well about their solution. We're working on Battle Royale. I'll just leave it at that. It's in progress. In fact, the map is done. It just needs to. Most of it comes down to the gameplay logic, which is on my plate to implement. Yes, CryEngine supports air vehicles, and we do want to add some. Those will wait though until the map's a lot more finished. But yes, we will add air vehicles at some point. They probably won't be DayZ style military stuff like that. There'll be smaller stuff that fits the game world a lot better. Yeah, if you play Crysis 3 or look at videos of Crysis 3, you can see some of the air vehicles in Crysis 3. Let's see. I'll go show people the movie theater. I don't know how many people have seen the movie theater, the drive-in. Alright, here we go. Like I said, I'm just kind of driving around, just messing off tonight. Yeah, we're just trying to stay away from military grade stuff in general. It doesn't, that wasn't the original design or plans for the game, was to have too many military grade weapons in it. And they also become extremely overpowered very fast. That's probably the biggest issue with them. But we'll kind of add stuff that makes sense and fits the world. Like a parking lot up here. There's 2 vehicles that spawn there. That's interesting. Either somebody left them there. This is another one of the new areas we got added a couple patches ago. Some of these areas, have a lot of detail in them as well. Eventually we want the whole world to, be this detailed. Any revamps on the item picking up system? Can you be more specific, Raging Ninja? What do you mean by revamping it? What are you looking for? Or what's in the next patch? The next patch, this version I'm running right now, we want to push out to experimental in the next couple of days, hopefully. And mainly it's just for the vehicles, so the vehicles are fun to drive. You know, right now they're kind of tedious at times because of the way it was kind of how laggy they were. And it has, you know, it has more animations, updates in it, more bug fixes. You know, as I mentioned, we've been working on, you know, chem lights and the flares, and there's just kind of a lot of stuff we do nonstop. I showed the body bags earlier. We just added, you know, some of that new stuff to the game as well for the looks. So the next one isn't going to be a big patch. It's more of a, you know, you call it more of a bug fix, hot fix. Just because we want to get vehicles working really well. Like how the scroll wheel makes your mouse pop up and you have to click to take the item. You don't have to use the scroll wheel, so I must be missing what you're saying. So let me drop this on the ground. So you're talking about this? I presume this is what you're talking about. You don't have to do that. You can just press F to pick stuff up. So F, this scroll wheel, most people don't even know this exists because there are multiple actions here. If you right click, it goes away. So if you press F, it picks whatever the top item is in the list. If that makes sense. So that's how you pick up. And for example, if you go up to a vehicle, the little down arrow, a lot of people think that's V to enter. It's supposed to be a down arrow indicating there are more options. So when I use the mouse wheel to scroll down, there's enter vehicle and open inventory. So those are the two options there. Or you can press G to open the inventory as well. So I don't know if that's what you're referring to or not. But most people don't even know that exists. Oh, over on the side, yeah. On the side, I like it in the middle just because it's one of those things you don't see very often. I kind of don't prefer DayZ style because you have to look up there all the time. Yeah, I use F for everything as well. Like I said, this action menu got added so we can do more complex stuff in the future. That's the whole point of this. It actually is a scroll list, so we can add as many options here as well. Anyway, yeah, most people don't know that exists, and I think they hit it by default or something. Edible keys, yeah, we definitely know that we need a key binding system. We're actually trying to find a UI guy right now that to fix a lot of that stuff. We want to, this whole main menu, we want to redo this whole thing. Add a lot more settings in here, make it a lot sexier. I don't know if it'll be in the next patch or not, but this is currently being all kind of reskinned right now to look like this. So it'll be this black and white look on everything, and I don't know if that'll be the next one or the one after. It's actually being worked on right now. Why is ammo visible on guns? It's a bug. It's been around, needs to be fixed. See, just like my shadow there. Another bug. Doesn't do it in third person though. Yeah, you can rebind stuff manually. There's a file you can rebind stuff in. I'll admit it's kind of a pain to do. And whenever we update and add new keybinds, it breaks it and you have to redo it. But if you're really dedicated, you can do it. It'll take a few minutes, but it is possible. But we definitely want to add another quad hidden back here. I'm showing you guys all the hidden spots. But yeah, anyway, it will be in. I've tried to find that to no avail, the XML that is. Chris, if you're there, is the link on Steam still up to date on how to do that? Yeah, if you're going to change every key, I don't know if you want to do it. Yeah, I do apologize. There's so many features and things in this game that's on my plate right now to work on, and I just kind of have to prioritize. Like, as Chris mentioned earlier, networking issue is my #1 priority, and I spend a lot of time working on optimizing network and the vehicles and stuff like that. So that's why we hopefully can get the player count up to at least 16 in the experimental server again. Because I've been spending a lot of time working on that. Why you guys didn't post? I think it might have been posted, but it was a couple months back. Yeah. Things on the forums are easily missed too, is the problem. But yeah, a lot of that stuff does get posted as well. One of the things I was discussing with Jen today, in fact, was just the number of websites we have to update. It's really hard to keep them all up to date and make sure everything's on all of them, and it's just kind of tedious to. This is the drive-in theater if anybody hasn't seen it. Sounds like there's a sound glitch. I'm hearing a truck, unless there's one parked around somewhere that's running. So this is the drive-in movie theater. It's been in the game for a while. I just don't know if very many people have seen it. A lot of people didn't come over here until vehicles got put in the game. Right there. Yeah, I think there's a glitch right here somewhere with the sound. That truck noise is kind of annoying. Oh, it's a truck that got stuck. That's what it is. So our vehicle system isn't perfect. So there's kind of this. There's a ramp you can go up on top of that little building there. There's spawns up there. Not sure what's up with that truck. That's very interesting. Let's call it a ghost truck for now. You parked a truck there earlier? Okay. Yeah, it's definitely bugged. Let's see. I used. See what I missed. Yeah, what I do is I actually post on Twitter quite often because it's a lot faster for me. So I'll post little nuggets now and then on Twitter, because that only takes me a couple seconds versus going and logging into the forums and making a post there. It's a lot more efficient just to throw stuff on Twitter that's really fast. But quite often the stuff I post on Twitter, Jen or even Chris will take it and repost it elsewhere. Yeah, I think that vehicle bugged me, that truck. I'm getting the sound glitch. Yeah, there's definitely some sound issues in the game, Top Fork. There's quite a few that persist if you die as well. And it's on the list to look at. I know some of those are quite annoying. As you can tell, the vehicle one now. So Raging Ninja, if you're in the airfield, look in the tents that have the tables in them. There are spawns in there for vehicle parts and all those. And then, as I mentioned earlier, broken down vehicles as well. Look on all the broken down cars. But yeah, you just kind of have to look around. One of the things we realized when we were playing a while back is Sultan, the city right in front of me here, doesn't have hardly any spawns in it for vehicle parts. And so we'll probably add some garages and stuff to it, just so there's a little bit more to find there. The backpack size, again, this comes down to a network issue. We're probably not going to expand this until the network issues are resolved and we can get either 32 or 64 players solid first. And then we'll go back and look at expanding after that. So that's why it's limited right now, is just purely from a networking standpoint. You know, all those objects have to be synchronized to all the other players when you log in, and you know, so on and so forth. Add stuff to the hangars. Yeah, a lot of the buildings in the airfield, you'll notice the interiors aren't nearly as detailed as our other stuff. I'm dying again. And we just haven't went back and revamped those areas yet. But a lot of those definitely need to be improved. You know, a lot of the buildings and structures need a lot more detail in them and a lot more item spawns. It is pretty sparse right now. So yeah, it's definitely on the list to do. I'm just going to go until I die, and then I'm going to stop the stream. How's that? So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. So somebody I was asking earlier about the white building on the hill, I presume that's what they were asking about, is up there. Yeah, that's an observatory. That's what it's intended to be. Right now, those are just white placeholders. Driving the river? You want me to kill myself that fast? Oh, there goes my heart. Yeah, I do appreciate you guys coming and stopping by. This gives us a nice break as well to do something besides just, you know, work on this non-stop. There's quite a few people on the stream, on the team, that put in a lot of hours every week on this game. It's hard for you guys to see that from outside, but you know, there is a lot of time. All right, here I go. Well, it didn't explode. It's supposed to explode. Bad example. I'll have to look into why. Yeah, I'll just drive down the river. How's that? Oh, there it's exploding. That's what it's supposed to do. Yeah. That needs to be fixed, obviously. Hey, that's pretty cool. As you see, it's still have some issues. Anyway. Not perfect yet. Game of the year right there. Alright. Yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in. I'll ask them. Spray paint your own graffiti. I'm not sure on that one if we'll do that or not. We haven't really discussed that. Or emotes or something like that. But anyway. Alright, well, I'm going to stop the stream, guys. I appreciate it. Like I said, I was just kind of doing this tonight for fun when we were messing off. We were doing another test of the vehicle system and everything, and said, let's just stream it. Let people kind of see what we're working on for fun. Yeah, I'm stopping the stream. I'm just stuck at the respawn. And I still hear that truck sound. Anyway. Alright, guys. Thanks. Appreciate it.